Good morning. Today we will be talking about 5 questions in the subject of agricultural extension and education. So without further ado, let's start off with question number 1. Question number 1 says the degree of similarity between two people is technically known as number 1, letter A, conformity, B, uniformity, C, heterophily, and D, homophily. Now, this specific question is related to the subject of the characteristic of the source for effective communication. So kung ikaw ay source, kung ikaw yung speaker, ano yung dapat mayroon sa iyo para maging effective yung ginagawa mong pagko-communicate ng knowledge sa mga nakikinig sa iyo. So there are 3 characteristics. Let's start off with dynamism. Dynamism specifically means the energy or the enthusiasm that the speaker is manifesting kapag kino-communicate niya yung idea. So bakit mahalaga ang dynamism? Well, first and foremost, alam naman natin, based on our experience, we don't want to listen sa mga tao na boring. Tama? Alam mo yun, na medyo monotonous, it is as if binabasa lang nila yung gusto nilang sabihin. It doesn't engage us. What engages us is a source, a speaker that talks with passion. Kasi that same passion is being communicated to the audience as well. And kapag may passion yung speaker mo, yung mga audience, nagiging passionate rin sila about the topic that you are talking about. And when they're passionate, they are more likely to be persuaded, they are more likely to be influenced. The other one would be credibility. And credibility talks about competence and expertise. Okay. Is the speaker, does the speaker have the competence or yung knowledge para i-communicate kung ano yung gusto niyang i-communicate? Kung wala, mahirap makinig sa taong yun. Like for example, say you are interested to talk about sa pag-i-engineer ng bahay mo, like building your own house, and you went to a mathematician. And basically, yes, may engineering knowledge yung mathematician, but hindi siya hands-on sa kung paano ba talaga gumawa ng bahay. There's a little bit of credibility there, yes, because he or she is a mathematician and probably meron siyang some sort of solving engineering problems, pero hindi talaga siya nakapagpagawa ng bahay. Kapag gano'n ang situation, hindi mo makikita na competent yung communicator, more than likely hindi ka maiimpluwensyahan sa mga advice or sa knowledge na i-share niya sa'yo. Credibility, again, speaks of competence. So just as like me right now, do I have the credibility to present lectures on the different subjects for the licensure exam for agriculturists? Yes or no? Well, yes, I suppose. Unang-una, kasi nagtapos ako ng 4-year degree course that talks a lot about the fundamentals of agriculture. And pangalawa, I took the board exam and I passed the board exam. And thirdly, siguro yung cherry on top is that I ranked 4 during the board exam na to. So tingin ko naman, I am credible to talk about these specific topics. So credibility, again, encompasses competence or expertise. The third one is homophily. And this, for me, is the homophily is defined as this perceived similarity between the source and the receiver. Ibig sabihin yan, nakaka-connect ba yung source sa receiver kasi mayroon silang common perspective. This can enhance effectiveness sa communication kasi the audience now can relate and can trust the source. So for example, if you go out there sa field and be an extension worker doon sa mismong barangay kung saan ka lumaki, mayroon kang homophily towards the audiences or towards those farmers or rural people out there. Bakit? Kasi doon ka lumaki. Alam mo yung culture nila, alam mo kung paano sila magbiruan, alam mo kung ano yung dialect na ginagamit kapag nakikipag-usap. So, these are all part of homophily. Now, the question is, Ano daw yung tawag doon sa degree of similarity between two people so that effective communication can manifest? So the answer, based doon sa ating discussion on this characteristic of the source for effective communication, the answer is homophily. The other choices, bakit hindi yun yung mga sagot? For instance, conformity. Conformity do not refer to matching attitudes or similar attitudes, beliefs, or behavior. It is merely about fitting in with others. That's conformity. Nakiki-confirm ka, nakikibagay ka. Pero kahit naman na hindi ka part ng culture, for example, nung population na pinupuntahan natin, pwede pa rin naman tayong makiconform, makibagay. Yun nga lang, walang homophily, walang similarity. Uniformity naman, hindi rin yun yung tamang sagot because it implies consistency or, alam mo yun, pare-parehas across group of people or processes. So parang similar at some point, similar to conformity, we conform because we want to be uniform. At hindi rin yun maganda kung ikaw ay extension worker, dapat may uniqueness ka, uniqueness in terms of personality na naishishare mo rin kumbaga, sa mga tao na nandun sa rural area na yon. How about heterophily? Heterophily is the difference naman na of homophily. If homophily is the similarity, heterophily is yung pagkakaiba. And heterophily is a negative attribute to an effective communication. Because as human beings, if we see people that are different from us, it is more likely na hindi tayo makikinig sa kanila, especially if that difference is contradicting to what we believe or to what we practice. So that's number one. Let's move forward to question number two. Sabi niya dito, the agent's success and his effort in connecting with his clients are related to, and the choices are quite awkward or weird, let's say, related positively, never at all, negatively, or neutrally. Now, when I was reading this question, ang naisip ko baka magbibigay na siya ng variables or factors that is related to agent success. But then, na-realize ko na hindi pala yun yung tinatanong ng question. Ano yung tinatanong nung item na to? Tinatanong niya kung ano daw ba yung relationship, between success, so yung success ng extension agent, and yung effort niya in connecting with his clients. So basically, tinatanong niya kapag ba ma-effort yung extension agent natin, mas nagiging ma-effort siya in terms of connecting with his clients, mas nagiging successful ba siya? Or kapag mas konti yung effort na binibigay niya, mas nagiging successful siya. So the choices here involves basically the direction of the relationship between these two factors. So kapag sinabi nating positive yung relationship, kapag nagkaroon ng kapag positive yung relationship ng dalawang variable, kapag sinabi nating positive yung relationship ng dalawang variable, if we add one variable, then the other variable will also increase. And vice versa. If we, kapag binawasan natin tong variable na to, the other variable will also decrease. So that's a positive relationship. Same direction. Ang negative relationship naman is when kabaliktaran or inverse yung relationship between two variables. So that would mean if you increase, if you increase one variable, the other variable will decrease. And if you decrease variable A, the other variable will now increase. So there's an inverse relationship. So balikan natin yung tanong. Ano yung dalawang variable na tinitignan natin dito sa question? The first variable is agent success, yung pagiging successful niya as an extension agent, and his effort in connecting with his clients. So ano yung relationship na yun? Kapag ba si extension agent gives more effort in connecting with his client, mas tumataas din yung chances niya of success, yes or no? So, yes, the answer is yes. So therefore, connecting the effort that the extension agent give as it increases will also increase yung chances niya of success. So given that, ano yung tamang sagot? It is a positive relationship. Okay? Now let's go on with this third question, which is similar. This third question, which is similar to this second question. So dito naman sa third question, ang dalawang variable na tinitignan natin is agent's contact with his clients and lower social status. Are they related positively or directly, or uh, positively or directly, negatively, never at all, or neutral? That's what we're talking about here. Now let's analyze the question. Agent's contact with his clients and lower social status among clients are related. If you come to think of it, kung ikaw ay isang extension worker and lumabas ka sa rural area, you want to help as much people as you can, right? And may focus tayo primarily on helping those people na nasa laylayan. I mean, kahit na rural area yung pinuntahan natin na yan, may mga tao na mababa yung social status and mababa yung resources nila. And may mga farmers din, let's say, or rural people na medyo nakakaangat-angat sa social status and mas may opportunity or resource sila on such things. If you're an extension agent, saan ka dapat, where will you be in contact most often? Doon ba sa lower social status or higher social status? Now, you might be thinking, it should be on the lower social status, right? Kasi yun yung gusto nating tulungan. But that idea is actually proves counterproductive. Why? Kasi kung pinupuntahan natin yung mga tao na medyo nasa lower social status, sila rin mismo yung mga tao na may pagka-laggard yung mindset. And that means they are very, very resistant to changes. Hindi sila nakikinig and they don't want to adopt new technologies or adopt new knowledge that would improve their lives. Bakit? Bakit kaya? Well, because they do lack resources. And if people lack resources, para wala sa kanila yung drive para mag-take risk and improve their lives. So in a sense, ang contact mo dapat ay wala sa people with lower social status or clients with lower social status, but rather on people with higher social status. Kasi people with higher social status, they have more resources, they are more receptive to change. And ito yung pinaka-importante. Kasi baka isipin natin, sir, ano yun? Ibabaliwalain na lang ba natin yung mga tao na nasa lower social class? No. We will target people in higher social class kasi sila yung may influence. And mayroon silang homophily. Again, the word homophily, similarity, doon sa mga rural people with lower social status. And it might be the case na the people with higher social status will be an instrument to influence change dun sa mga taong nasa lower social status. So, what is the relationship between contact and people with lower social status? Is it positive or is it negative? So as I have rationalized, as I have presented to you the logic, dapat yung contact mo sa mga clients with lower social status would be less. So therefore, the relationship is negative. Kasi yung contact mo dapat nandun sa mga clients with higher social status, not on the people with lower social status. So ang sagot dyan, oops, malito. Ang sagot po dyan is negatively related. Contact is negatively related to people with lower social status. We are less likely to connect with them, and we are more likely to connect with people in higher social class. So kapag ang tanong dyan is agent's contact with his clients and higher social status among clients, they are related positively. Kasi we should be reaching out and connecting with these people na may resources and mas mataas yung influence level nila sa community. Okay? Third question. The following are processes involved in program development except, so ang tinatanong natin, what is not a process in program development? So we have 4 choices here: situation analysis, we have organization, we have program planning, and we have feasibility study. Now the question, para masagot natin yan, is what is program basically? Now in the hierarchy of community development or in the hierarchy of allowing communities to improve themselves, ang government natin approaches this in a hierarchical perspective, let's say. So unang-una sa pinakatuktok niyan, ang government natin nag-i-implement 'yan, nagpapatupad din ng isang plano. And the plan is basically the vision. If we are going to help this community, ano yung vision natin sa community ngayon? Ano yung direction nila that they will be, ano yung direction or trajectory nila that would improve their lives. So that's a plan. And the plan is composed of a series of programs. Programs right now is more on, now we have this overall vision. Ano-ano ngayon yung mga angulo, ano-ano ngayon yung mga aspeto na i-improve natin sa kanila. So a program might be an infrastructure program, so i-improve natin yung infrastructure. A livelihood program, so i-improve natin yung livelihood ng mga farmers para magkaroon sila ng increased income. It might be a program on health, but the important concept that you need to understand here is the plan is composed now of your program. And below this is the project, which is basically the specific steps or specific tasks or activities now that would allow you to achieve your program and then achieve your grand plan or vision. So ang pinaka-bottom among these three is the project. Kumbaga yung project is the pinaka less abstract or more tangible steps that we are taking into consideration in order for us to hit our plan. Now, let's focus on the program. What are the different steps when we are developing up until implementing the program? So it starts off with, number one, situation analysis. We need to analyze yung situation ng mga rural people, yung resources nila, ano yung kabuhayan nila, ano yung culture. We need to understand their situation so that we will be able to strategically design yung ating programs in order to help them, in order to develop a program that fits their needs, their belief, and their culture. After that comes now yung pag-organize ng mga resources. Ano ba yung mga resources na nasa community na pwede nating magamit? We need to organize that. As well as the staff, yung mga tao na gagamitin natin, yung mga tao na tatrabaho sa implementation ng program na to. And then we plan the program. We plan what are we going to do, and then we basically execute it. So we will do what needs to be done. Sorry. And then after execution, my last step pa dyan, ang tawag natin is appraisal. Appraisal basically means we need to evaluate yung execution, yung program natin. We need to evaluate yung program to determine if it is successful or not. If it is successful, ano yung pwedeng improve? If it is not successful, ano yung pwede nating baguhin and palitan para maging successful yung ating program? So given that, alin dito ang hindi kasama sa proseso ng program development? As I have shown here, so the answer is feasibility study. Situation analysis, yan yung pinakauna. Organization, yan yung pangalawa. And program planning, yan yung susunod. After that would be execution, and after that would be appraisal. So ang sagot dito, technically speaking, is feasibility study. Feasibility study, although it can be implemented when we have a project or a program, is more used on businesses. Although, sabi ko nga, feasibility study is also used for identifying whether a specific project can be effective. So may pagka analysis rin siya, pre-analysis before the implementation. Question number 4. In extension communication, the extension worker plays the role of what? The extension worker is a receiver, a sender, an encoder, or both receiver and sender. In extension, as an extension agent, one of the things that we do is communicate. We communicate a lot. We communicate to our farmers, we communicate to universities, we communicate to government, and we basically, tayo yung middleman that bridges the gap between what is on top, so yung mga universities, mga government, and who are the people in the rural area or the people in the grassroots level. So we are constantly communicating. And if we are constantly communicating, it is important for us to understand yung communication process. And what are the elements in the communication process? Well, basically, you have the source or the originator of the message. Okay? Ang characteristic ng source, nabanggit natin kanina para effective communicator siya, is that dapat credible siya, dapat trustworthy, may homophilia, and at the same time, dynamic. Now, the sender will now create the message, which is the content conveyed using signs or symbols, using words, using PowerPoint presentation, using pictures. And that message will move into a channel, which is the medium through which the message is transmitted, and now it will be received by the receiver. So in our case, as an extension worker, when we are the sender, ipinapasa natin yung message sa mga rural folks. But then again, the communication process is not just a one-sided process. What do I mean by that? Hindi po pwede na yung sender mo ay dakdak lang ng dakdak and the receiver ay nakikinig lang ng nakikinig. No. If we can see in this diagram, there is a feedback loop wherein the receiver will be now providing a feedback through the same process in the communication, through the same communication process that the sender undergo kanina. So that means the receiver becomes the sender and the sender becomes the receiver. So given that logic, in extension communication, if you are an extension agent, hindi ka lang dapat sender, but rather you are a sender and a receiver. And the correct answer now is letter D. Ano tong encoder na to? Ano yung encoder na yan? Encoder is similar to the sender or receiver. It is similar to the sender. He or she is the one encoding the message. Ang synonym for receiver is decoder. He or she is the one who is decoding the message sent by your encoder. Last question. One advantage of using radio in extension is that, letter A, it reaches people quickly at the same time and at a low cost. Letter B, it delivers messages directly to the listeners across barriers. Letter C, it provides entertainment. Or letter D, it is cheap. Now, you might have heard this tip nung nakikinig ka, you might have heard this tip when you are about to take the exam na sa board exam, minsan napapansin natin na halos pare-parehas yung mga sagot. So you need to pick the one that most accurately answers the question, right? So, ano ba kasi ang advantage ng radio when it comes to extension education? I have listed here 3. Unang-una, wide reach. Okay? Wide reach po ang radio. And in the rural area, again, agricultural extension is mostly implemented in the rural area. Sa mga rural area, halos lahat ng bahay dyan may radyo. So kapag halos lahat ng bahay dyan may radyo, and doon mo promote yung message mo, may wide reach ka na ngayon on influencing yung mga rural folks natin. And kung hindi man lahat ng bahay ay may radyo, mostly yung mga tambayan ng mga rural folks na to, like basically store or barangay hall, may mga radyo rin dyan kung saan nakikinig sila. So it's wide reach. Pangalawa, it's cost-effective. Kasi walang visuals, like TV, wala kang visual. Kung may radyo na sila, so hindi ka nagagastos ng radyo na ibibigay sa kanila. Basically, pupunta ka lang sa station, i-convey mo yung message mo doon, and tada, mapapakinggan na nila yung message mo. And related to being wide reach is accessibility, right? So these are the 3 characteristics of a radio. Now, given that, ano kaya yung pinakatamang sagot? Simulan natin dito sa it is cheap. Is radio cheap? Yes, it is cheap. It is cost-effective, nabanggit na natin kanina. However, the advantage of reaching many people at a low cost does not encompass yung kabuuang advantage ng radio na binigay ko kanina. Isang factor lang or isang advantage lang yung pinapakita niya. It provides entertainment. Does radio provide entertainment? Yes. Pero when it comes to extension education, hindi yun yung purpose natin, right? Ang purpose natin is not to entertain, but rather to educate. How about letter B? It delivers messages directly to the listeners across barriers. Is that correct? Yes, it is correct. So ito yung factor, ito yung characteristic of the radio, ito yung advantage of the radio in terms of its accessibility. Tama naman. Pero letter B, kulang pa rin. While radio can provide while radio can be directly listened to by your rural folks, okay? It doesn't capture the primary advantage. Ano yung primary advantage? The combination of both having it wide reach and accessibility at cost effective. So therefore, letter A is the correct answer, and it is the advantage the advantage of using radio in extension is that it is quick, and at the same time it is quickly done. So nakakapag-promote tayo ng message natin doon. It is accessible. It reaches a lot of people there. And at the same time, it is low cost.